Well, today's video is going to be about repairs, breakdowns. What's next? How can so much bad luck happen to one couple? Well, here it goes again. Hopefully you can see that. I got the door open so you can see we got a gauge right there. Got a gauge right there. Now, I used to have this. This is today's project, by the way. Had to repair this because it broke down in the last town, outside of the last town, so we stopped here and I fixed it. Well, what we used to have here was we had you can see a hole there and one there. Those used to be so I could individually fill the airbags, one on one side, one on the other side. And then I had a gauge. I had a gauge here, had a gauge up in here. So I would fill one tank, then I could fill the other tank. That's what that was all about. And while I was filling it, it would also fill an auxiliary tank, air tank. But we have decided not to do that. For one thing, it had so many leaks. I'm going to draw a diagram of how this is hooked up now. I'll explain a little bit here. I just used this gauge because the other one I didn't have with me anymore. It's back home, but this gauge was still here, so that's still hooked up to the main tank. What I did is to test all this out, I hooked it up a different way, but that doesn't matter. That's still hooked up to the main tank. This here just goes on. I used to have this directly hooked up to a air tank, or air compressor, and it broke, like everything else. So now I just clip this on, like so, and hit this switch, and that pumps it up. So these are both shut off right now, so it ain't going to put no air in them. So I turn this on, get the air going. I'm going to open up this valve, and it will go straight into the... hopefully that's not glaring too bad. This one will take it right to the airbags in the back of the truck. Like I said, we used to have individual lines running to each side. And you do that if you're going to have a big camper on here and it's going to be rocking. That keeps it more stable than just running one line back. But I don't have a camper on it, and I don't have the proper stuff to fix this the right way. That way anyway. This way will work just as good. Matter of fact, this is the way most of them are hooked up. So, like I said, put air in it, goes in there, fills up the bags. There's a T at the back. I'll show you that in the diagram. And once it's filled up to the pressure I want, I close that valve. Air can't go back through. Then I could open this one up if I wanted to fill up the auxiliary tank. But I don't ever need it. And this little air pump, I want it to last longer. So if I needed it, I could. Air pump is just underneath the seat and then wired in. And it looks like I knocked off my tape. That's supposed to be in here so I can see what's going on. Yeah, I pulled that apart. Working on it, but that's that. Now I'm going to show you the diagram because this is going to work great for us. It's reading 0 now, but it held 40 all day yesterday, right where I put it. It will leak out at night a little bit because you still got a bunch of fittings there, and you know they just leak. What can I say? As long as it holds it during the day and I can pump it up, that helps my stabilization greatly. Because this is only a 3/4 ton, and we're pulling the max and we're carrying the max. So that's what I did today. Now here's the diagram. Let me explain this a little better to you guys. Okay, you seen the valve, you seen the other valve, you seen the air inlet that's hooked up to the compressor. And then there's a bar going across here where they got these are all teed in. These are little connections on the ends so you can feed up here. This one goes through the gauge up to the air bags. Then this one here, she goes over here. This goes up to the air tank. Now, I can shut off the air tank and not fill it up. I can shut off the airbags and not shut them off and not use them. So if I needed air, I could pump it out to here, and then I got a valve on here. If I wanted to hook up an air hose, I could. That little pump ain't really big enough for that, but I could. Also, on this air inlet here, I can fill it up with a hose from outside, or I can just clip on the air compressor, the little 12-volt one, hook it on there and fill them up. So once I've got the air filled up into the airbags, what I want to do is just shut that off so no air can seep through anything else. And that's what we're doing. Other than when we used to have it the old way, I had each one of these filling a bag separately. Then I also had a valve on here. It just filled up the tank. Well, I just didn't need it. And it was too many leaks, too many junctions, too many T's. So it was leaking all the time. So this way will help us keep it from leaking by just running one line to both airbags, which is teed off back by the axles. Hope that helps out. Well, today's little project, being it's so nice here. Look at this. I'm in shorts, guys, and t-shirts. It is nice. But today we put this out. I heard it creaking. And so, I don't know if you can see that. Let me go around here. I heard creaking noise, and I don't like creaking noises. So I decided to crawl under here, and yeah, that's better. I think. Maybe it ain't. You can see them gears, they run up that way. Well, I greased and oiled all of that on all the slides. Crawled under there and did that. That was one of today's honeydew projects. But when I was doing it, let's get back here, I checked out this shackles that we had replaced. Well, apparently the guy didn't get the bolts tightened all the way up, because when I crawled under there, they weren't loose, but they weren't tightened. So you can see I put some WD-40 on all that to give it a little bit of help. But I'm going to have to replace the shackles, I think, when we get down to Yuma. But she's all greased up, and that should make a big difference on wear. We don't want wear. The bolts are not, I tried tightening them up. They're tight as they're going to go. That is the reason why he didn't finish tightening them up, because that's just, they got up to where the thread was screwed up, and that's as far as they would go. So we're going to put all new bolts and new shackles on when we get down there to Yuma, along with all kinds of other things we got to do to this. But look at this. We got the awning out for the first time since back on Sucker Flats. Beautiful day. And so I got some stuff done. Now I'm just gonna maybe go get in the hot tub. That's today's little project so far. Oh, I did another one in the house too. It ain't nothing. Well, good morning everybody from Lakeside Casino and RV Camp. We got the awning down today. And if you noticed, look at this. I even washed the pickup. That's what I was going to show you to begin with. It said spot free. They lied. I see a spot there. Anyway, it's better than it was. I hadn't washed it in about 2 or 3 months. No need to wash it if you're in the rain every day. But anyway, I got the airbags fixed. Told you about that. But we're going to have a nice day. As you can see, I'm in my shorts. Vicky's going to be popping her head out any minute. She just fixed me a nice breakfast. And Hank wants to say hello to everybody. Can you say hello? No? I bet if I open the door, put this on Hank, and I said, Charlie? How about Terry? Oh yeah, them are your 2 favorite people. Anyway, good morning everybody. We're having a good day. Gonna leave here tomorrow, unfortunately, because they're booked up.